Unlike animals, plants with roots, stem, and leaves remain fixed to the soil and are incapable of moving from one place to another. In spite of remaining fixed to a place, the plants are still capable of some form of movement of their organs. It is a common observation that some plants, like lotus, can open and close their flowers. Sunflower can track the movement of sun. Touch me not plant can close its leaves by touch. And an insectivorous plant can trap an insect by closing its clasps. Some plants can climb up with support with special structures like tendrils. Roots always grow towards gravity while stem grows away from gravity. When light is shown from one direction, the shoot bends towards the source of light. All these movements in plants have a purpose, like the root is trying to find water in the soil, and the shoot with its leaves is growing towards light for doing photosynthesis. Some aquatic plants, like flagellated or filamentous algae, have locomotion and move freely in water. All the types of movement in plants can be grouped under two major classes: autonomic and paratonic. Autonomic movements are spontaneous, like the growth of a climber using its tendrils and twisting around a support. The paratonic movements are those which occur in response to external stimuli, like phototropic bending of a plant towards unilateral illumination. Let us see in detail the types and mechanism of both the classes of movement in plants. Autonomic movements. Autonomous movements are spontaneous movements which take place spontaneously without any external stimuli. These movements can be further classified into three types: movement of locomotion, growth and curvature movement, and variation movement. Movement of locomotion. Although higher plants which grow on land remain rooted to the soil and do not have any locomotion, the smaller aquatic plants swim freely in water. A unicellular algae like Chlamydomonas or a multicellular colony of volvox move freely in water. A filamentous alga like Oscillatoria has oscillatory movement. Similarly, some of the individual cells like zoospores, which have flagella, are also motile in aqueous medium. A second type of locomotion is shown by the material present within the plant cell, like streaming of the protoplasm, movement of chloroplasts, mitochondria, and other cellular organelles. This type of movement within a cell is common to both aquatic and land plants. Movement of the whole organism or organelles within a cell occur in response to inherent factors, and they are free and spontaneous. Growth and curvature movement. These movements are brought about by unequal growth on different sides of an organ. This is further classified as nutation growth and nastic growth. Nutation growth is shown by climbers which grow with the help of a support. When special organs like tendrils or stem comes in contact with the support, then the tissue that is in contact with the support grows at a slower rate than the opposite side. This difference in growth rate brings about a curvature which helps the supporting organ in spiraling or twining around the support. The climbers can grow upwards with this movement, although they do not have a strong trunk like a shrub or a tree to grow upwards on their own. Nastic growth occurs due to differences in the rate of growth on two opposite surfaces of a plant organ. Opening of a floral bud is an example of this type of movement. The petals of a flower open and grow downwards, like in a lotus or hibiscus flower. This is due to faster growth of the upper surface of the petal. When the upper surface grows faster, it is called epinasty. Epinasty in petals is a natural movement in some plants. In other plants, this type of response, especially in leaves, is usually triggered by unfavorable ambient conditions like waterlogging, salinity stress, and drought or pathogen attack. When the lower surface of an organ grows faster, it is called hyponasty. Hyponastic responses are mostly seen in leaf blades of monocots and dicots, as well as leaf petioles. Abiotic types of stress such as flooding, shade, or elevated temperatures induce hyponasty. Variation movement. These movements occur due to periodic variation in the turgidity of cells of an organ. In a plant like Desmodium gyrans, up and down movement of the two lateral leaflets occur in a rhythmic manner. When the cells at the bases of the leaflets lose water to the neighboring cells, they collapse and leaflets drop down. These cells become turgid when they regain water and the leaflets acquire their upright position. Paratonic or induced movements. These movements occur in response to external stimuli and can be broadly grouped into three types: tropic movement, tactic movement, and nastic movement. Tropic movement. Tropic movements are growth movements which occur in response to unidirectional external stimuli. The plant part positions itself and grows in the direction of the stimulus. Further classification of these types of responses is dependent on the type of the stimulus received. Phototropism is the bending of the plant or a plant organ towards the direction of the light when they are illuminated with unidirectional light. This bending is due to unequal growth on the two sides. The illuminated side grows slower than the dark side. This is best seen in the dark grown coleoptiles of monocot seedlings. If a potted plant growing straight under natural light is kept near a window, it will bend in the direction of the window within a few days. This bending is to find light for photosynthesis, which is a primary requirement for the survival of the plant. Biochemically, the asymmetric growth on two sides is regulated by the hormone auxin. Geotropism. Growth of a plant organ in the direction of the gravity is geotropism. Roots of the plants show geotropism and grow in response to gravity. If a plant organ grows in the opposite direction of the gravity, it is called negative gravitropism or agravitropism. In a plant, shoots are negatively geotropic and roots are positively geotropic. In the roots, the primary root of the plant is gravitropic, but the secondary lateral roots show a weaker response to gravity. Similarly, branches of a tree grow parallel to ground unlike the main trunk. This type of growth at an angle to the gravitational stimulus is called as diageotropic growth. Gravitropism helps the root to find water below the soil surface. This response is also regulated by the plant hormone auxin. A simple experiment can demonstrate that gravitational force has to be unilateral to induce positive or negative gravitropism. If a potted plant is fixed horizontally on a stationary clinostat, the shoot will bend upwards and the root downwards after a few days. If the same plant is fixed on a rotating clinostat, then the root and shoot will not show bending because the gravitational force is not unilateral. In a rotating clinostat, the gravitational force affects the rotating organs equally. Heliotropism. In this type of movement, the organs of a plant track the sun across the sky, and it is also known as solar tracking. Flowers of the sunflower, Helianthus annuus, this plant move in the direction of the sun. Similarly, the compass plant, Cyphium laceriatum, tracks the sun. Hydrotropism. Growth movement in response to unilateral stimulus of water are known as hydrotropism. Roots are positively hydrotropic and always grow in the direction of water source. Chemotropism. If the movement of plant parts is due to unilateral stimulus of some chemical, then it is called as chemotropism. During fertilization of flowers, after the pollen grains land on the stigma, the pollen tube moves through the style towards the ovary by chemotropism. Thigmotropism. Thigmotropism is a movement in which a plant moves or grows in response to touch or contact stimuli. Vines develop tendrils that coil around supporting objects. The surface that touches the support will grow at a slower rate than the other side, which makes the tendril bend around the object. Roots also show thigmotropism. A root that grows vertically downwards curves around an object which resists its growth, like a stone. Roots avoid this object, curves, and grow to find soft soil to penetrate vertically. In this way, roots are negatively thigmotropic. Tactic movement. Tactic movements are movements of locomotion which are induced by some unidirectional external stimuli. The external stimuli might be light, a chemical, or temperature, and accordingly there are three types of tactic movement: phototactic, chemotactic, and thermotactic. Phototactic movement. This is the movement of the whole organism in response to unidirectional light. The movement may be positive when it is towards the source or negative when it is away from the source. Free swimming algae like Chlamydomonas show this type of movement. Some of the zoospores and gametes also show phototactic movement. Chemotactic movement. The unidirectional movement of locomotion in response to certain chemicals is called chemotactic. The movement of antherozoites of bryophytes and pteridophytes towards egg is due to chemicals. Thermotactic movement. This is the movement of locomotion in response to certain unidirectional temperature stimulus. Rapid rotational cytoplasmic movement in the leaf of Vallisneria is due to increase in temperature. Algae also show movement from a cooler to a warmer place. Nastic movements. These movements in plants are either due to changes in the turgor of the cells or due to changes in growth. The response is induced by changes in day and night, nyctinacity, by chemical stimulus, chemonasty, or by a touch stimulus, seismonasty. Nyctinacity. These movements of plant organs occur in response to day and night, and they are also known as sleep movements. These movements occur in response to changes in light intensity or temperature. When the movement is induced by change in light intensity, it is called photonastic movement. Flowers of Oxalis, Portulaca and Nicotiana show this type of movement. When the movement is induced by changes in temperature intensity, it is called thermonastic movement. Flowers of tulip and saffron show this type of movement. In saffron, a temperature rise of only 0.36 degrees is enough to begin to open a saffron flower. Chemonasty. These movements occur in response to some chemical stimulus. Strong chemonasty is exhibited by long peripheral tentacles of sundew leaves, which responds to the presence of organic nitrogenous compounds by bending towards the middle of the leaf. Seismonasty. These movements are in response to shock by a touch stimulus. The plant, touch me not, that is Mimosa pudica, closes its leaves immediately when it is touched. This closure is due to turgor changes at the base of the leaflets. Another term, thigmonasty, is also used for some seismonasty responses. This movement is also in response to touch or physical contact. Closing of the insect-eating plant Venus flytrap or Dionaea muscipula is an example of thigmonasty. Bending of the glandular hair of sundew as a result of contact with an insect is another example. In conclusion, animals can migrate from one place to another, especially under adverse environmental conditions. Unable to move from one place to another, plants have developed movement of their organs that helps them to reduce the damage under adverse conditions like in epinacity and hypernacity. Besides this, plant movements also help in various other functions like finding water in the soil, finding light for photosynthesis, climbing with support, opening of flower buds, etc.